What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, watching my videos, listening to my dumb ass, like and subscribe. So today we're gonna talk about something that the Pony Donkey Unicorns, the Sony fan boys, have been talking about for a minute, and it is mismanagement, right? So a lot of the claims are that Phil Spencer and the people over at Xbox are mismanaging. That's why Scalebound is canceled. That's why all this happens. That's why all these games are being delayed, blah, 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 right? Mismanagement. Even David Jaffe jumped up on mismanagement. Oh, they don't know what they're doing over there. Even David Jaffe. I like David Jaffe, by the way. So, let's talk about how Sony's, particularly PlayStation, is being mismanaged at the moment right now. Okay? People are like, fanboy alert. No. Hear me out. Look, listen, and try to think about this as a perspective, right? Exhibit A. The sales of the PlayStation in Japan. PlayStation 5 got outsold by Xbox Series in Japan. How does this happen? It hasn't happened forever, like, I don't know, 8 years, right? Something like that. How does this happen? Mismanagement. The fundamental part of business is supply, demand. They got mad demand for the PlayStation 5. They can't supply their product. Mismanagement. That's what it looks like to me. It's like, yo, everybody wants your joint, son. Everybody wants it. Where's it at? You look like an idiot. You look like a fool because you're part of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and you can't make your product. How does that happen? Sounds like mismanagement to me, doesn't it? Right? Just saying. I mean, look, I was looking at this. I'm like, wait a second. How does the Xbox outsell the PlayStation 5 by it's more than 2-1 in a week? How? Mismanagement. Do you think it's mismanagement, or it's like, here's the excuses. Xbox got priority, blah blah blah, on manufacturing and blah blah blah. No. I don't want to hear no excuses. It's mismanagement, because if Xbox could do it, then Sony could do it, right? What's the difference? Is Xbox doing better business? Are they better manager? They're better managing of the relationships between the product manufacturers and themselves, and they say, okay, we need this much. Let's get it done. Got it done. I'm a good manager. Or you're over at Sony like, and you don't get it done. You get outbid. Why? Because you don't have enough money. Why? Because you're not making enough money. Why? Mismanagement, I guess. If you're not bigger than Microsoft, what does that say about your company? You're not as good? You can't manage as good? Microsoft has been growing for years. I remember when they were not a $1 trillion company. I remember when they became a $1 trillion company, I was like, oh snap, wow. They're over 2 right now, over $2 trillion. I'm like, that wasn't too long ago. What? How are they mismanaging? Yet and still, they're making all this money. Something doesn't calculate. It's about narratives, right? So my narrative for all you ponies and donkey unicorns to think about, not to just take it as, oh, I'm an Xbox and I'm talking shit about Sony. No. PlayStation in particular. It's about why Sony can't make enough product. Mismanagement. That's what's up. Now, Exhibit B. Look, Sony is trying to compete, if you will, but they're not really trying, because they feel like they are the best, right? And people keep telling them they're the best. Their fans, their hardcore fans, keep telling them they're the best. They sell more units, right? And they're using that metric to justify their position and their attitude in the market. It's not, if they continue to mess up, Sony right now, PlayStation right now is messing up. Little by little, the cracks are growing bigger and bigger. This PlayStation Plus tier stuff is hot garbage trash. It's supposed to be a competitor to Game Pass, said Jim Ryan back in the day. We're working on our competitor. Jim Ryan, we're working on our competitor. Okay, he's not Australian, but you know what I'm saying. And first they messed up, right? By putting the PAL versions of some games on the PlayStation Plus Premium backwards, the best, the most expensive. Oh, you want to play these backwards compatible games? Let's not even talk about the streaming stuff, because that's like whatever, right? That's like super hot garbage trash. We're just talking about PlayStation 2 and 1 games, like Ape Escape over here, right? They put the PAL version on there. Why? I watched a Review Tech USA. He was like, I don't know why. And some people said, well, it's because the language options. There's more language options on the PAL version than there are on the NTSC. Did I say that right? North Americans, whatever. Right? So, okay, I understand that, but it's a worse version. So, the smart thing would be to offer both versions for the whole of your service. So no matter where your service ends up, people have the choice to choose which version they want to play where they are in the world, right? That would make the most sense. Why didn't they do that? What they did instead was to do some idiotic patch that takes the PAL version and it frame blends it up to 60 hertz, which causes hot garbage trash ghosting. I've seen a video on it. I'm like, why would you do this? This is what TVs do when they say, oh, we have super 120 hertz motion blending smoothness. That's what these goofy TVs do. Instead of actually being 120 hertz, it does the motion blend interpolation, and it's like, okay, you kind of fool me a little bit, but no, that's not, no. And that's what they did. And I'm like, why would you do this? This is so horrible. This is not a fix. It makes me believe that Sony doesn't know what they're doing, or they don't care, or they're really lazy and they don't care, and they're trying to do the least bit of work to get the most bit of whatever, profit or whatever, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, they're hurting their reputation with every misstep that they make. Even though this is little and minor or whatever, and people are like, oh, who cares about those old games? It's about face. They're not saving face. They're losing face right now because it seems like they don't care about their old games, about the old library. Even the Embracer Group is like, yo, we creating a whole thing and it's about game preservation. Embracer Group, even though it's like the most giant corporation out there with all these studios, seems better than Sony right now. And I'm like, that's hard. That's really bad when a more giant, all-encompassing corporation is better than you're supposed to be the best. Seems like, as far as backwards compatibility and preservation and emulation. And they don't care. They literally don't care. Look, you see the difference between these two? So this is the regular, this was on I believe this is the PS5 emulation. And then they put the patch in for the 60 hertz. And what it does, it'll blend the two frames with the difference, right? Before, it was doing a lot of, it was doing it at 60 hertz, but it was changing the frame times. So you would get 60 hertz technically, because you know that's what your TV's output at. But the frame times were different, so you would get stuttering and inconsistent frames, basically. So one frame will be longer than the other, and it would change a lot. I mean, I don't know what the actual frequency and how it would change, but it wasn't a consistent, 16 point whatever. And this is their solution. This goofiness. I'm like, why? Look, you see? I'm like, this is the dumbest solution I've ever seen. I'm not even like a super tech guy. I know a little bit. I know about frame blending and all that stuff. And sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's I guess warranted or whatever. But it is not. It is not. No, it's not what. Far from premium. You see what's going on? Mismanagement. How does the management say, oh, that's fine. That's fine. I can't tell the difference. Is the management so oblivious to technology that they can't see? They need someone who knows about this stuff. At least, see, this is the way I think about it. I look at Phil Spencer. I look at Jim Ryan. Phil Spencer is a programmer. That's how he started. He was a programmer doing code. So he understands all these things about frames, interpolate. He understands the technology and the actual, workings of. Jim Ryan, I don't know. He was born a manager. I don't even know. Does he even know how to code or anything? Or, I mean, I'm not saying that it's a a requirement, a prerequisite for a manager to understand the inner workings of their company. It would help, yes. But if you don't understand those things and you just you see it as an outsider, if you will, not understanding the technology, and you say, "Yeah, that looks good. Let's go. Let's ship it," right? But then a tech guy comes and say, "What is wrong with why is it so stuttery?" Because like the layman, they'll look at something and be like, "Oh, that's 720p. That looks fine to me. It's on a big screen. It's on 80 inches. As long as it's on 80 inches and it fills the whole thing, I don't care." But you look at it, it's like, yeah, that's ugly. That's like, no, that's bad, right? And there's someone who knows and looks at something like, no, that's not good, you know. And you can get to the fine minutia if we're talking about just image quality. You know, there's some people out there like, yo, the black levels are horrible. You can see all the banding and all this stuff. This sucks, right? And that's like a super video file or whatever. But then you look at the layman, grandma comes in, oh, look at the pretty colors. Oh, they don't know about banding. They don't know about black levels and all that stuff. And that's how I feel like Sony is like the grandma. You know, I'm saying the leaders over at PlayStation, they're the grandma who don't know about the, you know, the fine minutia of the technologies and how to get the best, squeeze the most out of, you know, what you can do. And I look at Xbox and they're doing their thug thizzle. They did the cloud, they're doing all the streaming stuff where Sony failed before. And now they're trying to put a Band-Aid around PS Plus and PS Now. And they're screwing that up too. I'm like, I can't. So honestly, look at the industry. Look at Xbox versus PlayStation just for now. We're not talking about Nintendo. And ask yourself, who is mismanaging a lot real quick? Who? How can you mess up the fundamentals of freaking business? Product availability. Sony is mismanaging their product availability, which is affecting their bottom line. It is affecting their profits. They're not making as much money as they should be. They're not selling as much units as they should be because someone messed up and said, and slept a little bit too late that one day. And then Phil Spencer was up in the morning, beep, boop, boop. Yo, what's up? What's up? Yo, AMD, what's up, Kim? Let's go. I remember when he was talking to AMD. He was talking to Kim. And he was like, yo, girl, we gonna need some Xboxes. This was like a year and a half ago, whenever, right? Just I think it was just after launch or, you know, soon after launch. And I heard a story about that. I was like, oh, okay. That's what's up. I mean, that seems like par for the course. That's what business just do, right? You go and you talk to your partners and like, yo, we need some more Xboxes because, you know, supply is gonna be high, right? Xbox did that. I ain't hear no stories about Jim Ryan going up there like, yo, what can we do? I didn't hear it. So, you know, it just for me, like I said, Sony fans, look at Jim Ryan. Look at the management at Sony, at PlayStation particularly, not Sony. Look at PlayStation management. Is there mismanagement there that caused this shortage? I believe so. I mean, how you could try to cap and say, oh, it's because Xbox has more money and da. Look, when you go down the line, you go down the domino trail, mismanagement. Sony doesn't have enough funds to make enough PlayStations. Is that what it is? They couldn't outbid Microsoft. Is that what it is? Is that still mismanagement? Even though it may go back years back because they have been in the same business model for decades and they refuse to change. Sounds like mismanagement. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Yo, hit me up in the comments. I always like the discussion. I will always read them. I read all the comments. And sometimes I actually comment back because sometimes, you know, but I appreciate every single one of you all. For real. And, you know, until the next time. Tilt away.